Welcome back to Household CEO, where we help you live smarter and save money. So, today I'm going to give you my 11-month review on my Elon smart thermostat, which basically turns a conventional quick hot geyser into a solar geyser. So, did it actually save me money? I suppose that is the question that you're asking or thinking. So, watch till the end so you can get the final result as to how much I saved so far in these 11 months. Let's get into it. So, this is my 11-month review and also showing you the app, how it works and how it has worked for me. So, let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see at the beginning, there's the Elon Smart Thermostat app, so you can download it from any app store and it's straightforward, right? Okay, let's get into it. And it's quite responsive, so it loads quite quickly. It shows you all the stats that it needs to show you, and even right now my water is at 53 degrees. I'm currently on solar mode, and also you can see that I've pulled in 10.1 kilowatt hours, so I didn't actually have to buy that from Eskom City Power. I produced that purely from my four 550 watt solar panels, and we've saved 40 rand and 58 cents. So sun is starting to go down now, so that's probably, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get another 400 watts. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it for the day. But let's get to the top. So there's a temperature, it shows you on the left hand side, and it's color coded, so very straightforward. And it also has your different kind of modes, what heat sources it is, so whether it's obviously two heat sources, grid or solar. What's nice about this is that you can actually override the system, so you can have your settings that obviously you want to have, whether you want to have morning showers or evening showers, which I'll get into that also. Let me increase my grid target, so I'm going to go into the control panel and give you a breakdown, and then I'll override the system to show you how quick this app responds. So it's got the heating modes, right? So let's go into the heating modes. Okay, solar only. Sorry, I wanted to change the target grid temperature. So let's just make it to 60 degrees. Okay, let's go back out. So there, it's already configured everything. So just grid boost to 60 degrees. So as I said, like if you're out, you just came from a gym, or you're on your way from the gym, or you're on your way from golf or something, and you see the water isn't quite as hot as I want it to be. And then as you can see, within a couple of seconds, you've got your grid mode. So this is a new updated app. It wasn't as clean as this before. So obviously it seems like this company, the Elon Smart Thermostat company, I think they're Power Optimal. As you can see, they are trying to update the app regularly and trying to make the user experience better as time goes on. As I said, I've been using this for 11 months now, and I've never had any issues using the app. I mean, like when the Wi-Fi is down, it doesn't work, but I've never actually had to. There's support right here. I've never had to use support. Oh, I don't have hot water, or I'm having issues with the app or anything. It's been very user friendly, which is obviously what you want, especially when you're basically in your house and you're obviously trying to do things mostly on your own. I mean, like, you can't just, obviously you get people that can afford to call a plumber if they just need the app to be fixed, but I'm not one of those people. So it does really help that this is quite user friendly. Let's go back into the control settings, and so you got your Wi-Fi, device label, install address, and then you got your temperature settings. So the target, obviously with the solar, you want to ideally have it at the highest so that it can heat up, because you want to get the most out of your solar panel. So there's no point putting it at 60 degrees, because then you're going to lose out. I'm just saying, lose out on 5 degrees of free water heating, right? So with that, you always want to max it out. Then with the grid target, then you can obviously be finicky with that, because obviously I've got the gas geyser, so I don't really use the grid option very often. I only use it at worst case scenario if my gas has run out, or I see obviously the gas tank is almost at its end, like it's almost empty and it's the weekend, they're not going to deliver gas, so then I will use the grid option, right? So you can decide what temperature from the grid you want to heat it up until. So obviously the hotter you want it, the more electricity you are going to use. Okay, so I have it at 60, so I'll leave it there. All right, and then you got your heating modes, and you can choose, like for example, if you know that your family is mostly going to shower bath in the evenings, You can drop down the panel and you can choose evening shower. If you know your family is going to do that more in the mornings, you drop down and select morning shower. And then what will happen is that your element will kick in the evenings after, not when the sun has gone down. There's a timer, I think it kicks in at 5 o'clock in the evening. But again, you can also set the custom times if you want to, if you don't like how it is the times that are going on and off. Right, so you can set your own time, but you can ahead of myself. Right, so you have morning, evening, then you can also select morning and evening showers. So that's if you want the element to kick in from the grid in the mornings and in the evenings, and obviously the solar will help. So the solar will help then during the day. So for example, let's say you have a morning and evenings, the solar heats up during the day, and then maybe in the evenings you only need to use 1 hour's worth of electricity. So the thing is with a solar geyser, you're always going to need to use some sort of backup. When I say some sort of backup, it's going to be obviously solar primarily and then grid secondary, where I have solar primarily and then I got my gas geyser secondary, and then I got the grid as the third backup. Every heating source has got its pros and cons. I mean, like with the gas geyser, I put in the gas geyser first. To be honest, the consumption was very high, especially during winter for me personally. Even though it was a fan force geyser, gas geyser, it was a bit high in winter. In summer, it wasn't too bad because a bottle used to last 8 weeks to 10 weeks, 2.5 months. But in winter, it was half of that, so which I wasn't very happy about. So then obviously then I looked at different options, and a lot of people were saying with the gas, they use a solar geyser, and that's when I was looking at different solar geyser options, and I felt like the Elon smart thermostat was the most user-friendly. When the user-friendly, I mean in the sense that I personally ideally like to know how the things are working in my house. So if it has to break, I can do a makeshift until a plumber or electrician or something can come by. So the Elon smart thermostat, it's literally just a plug and play. You take the old thermostat, you plug the new thermostat in, and you wire the cable. So I put on my own panels onto the roof, and I just got an electrician to pull the wire to the smart thermostat and obviously connect to the grid as well. So yeah, so if anything has to happen in that regard, then I kind of know, okay, I could just pull this out, I could put a normal electric element in, or so I could try to figure it out myself. There is different other solar solutions, but as I said, I just want it as simple as possible. I don't want different kinds of DB boxes and this box here, that box there. This is just plug and play, cables in, obviously with your isolator switches and so forth. Very straightforward. But yeah, let's get into a custom heater timer. So you can actually set a timer yourself as to what you want your profile to be like. So I've got a profile starting at, it's like for 2 hours, and if it hits 60 degrees it will switch off. So you can decide, you can have it certain days. It doesn't have to be every day, only certain days at certain time. Complete to your lifestyle at your house, you can set this thing to, which is absolutely amazing. I think, it's not very often that you have, user-friendly devices. They're so straightforward, especially when it comes to home stuff. Let's see what other options they have. There's holiday mode. So basically, if you're on holiday, basically it just switches off the solar, everything, so you don't have to worry about your tank getting too hot, or I'm not sure. I think there's some solar solutions that the temperatures just get hotter and hotter and hotter, and eventually the geyser will burst. And then obviously you got grid only, which that is just turning your basically a Elon smart thermostat into a fancy geyser timer essentially. So you might as well just buy a geyser switch, not the Elon, unless you're planning to buy the Elon smart thermostat first, make it into a timer. Actually, that's actually a great idea. So if you want to do it in stages, buy it first to time your element when you want it to go on and off. And then as time goes on, you can add 1 panel, 2 panels, 3 panels. If you're trying to build a system and you don't have a lot of money, then you can do that slowly, which is actually great. Yeah. Now into the numbers. Okay, so as you can see today, we pulled in 10.2 kilowatt hours. What's nice is that this will give you from yesterday even. So give you yesterday, give you for the week, for the month, and for the year. Okay, so as you can see, yesterday I did use a bit of grid. I did heat the water up from grid a bit, and I used 2.7 kilowatt hours. Let me cancel actually grid boost mode. Now you cancel it. Let me pull in a little bit more sun, what I can. So I think the water, if I'm about to say, water temperature was at 50 degrees, and I only used 2.7 kilowatt hours to get to 60 degrees, which is, 10 rand. save a little bit of gas get pushed out a bit. And then let's look at the week. So this week it was cold. It was days of the Monday, as you can see, there was no solar production. Tuesday nothing, and then Wednesday started climbing slowly. But yeah, Tuesday was, I had to use the electric element. I tell you why, because the water was so cold that when I was going through the gas geyser was not heating up the water, because obviously the gas geyser works as instant hot water. So it like has like obviously the gas geyser and the water runs through it, and then like inside of it, like the gas obviously heats that chamber or whatever, and then it runs through and then it heats up. But the water was so cold that it was basically running through it, and it wasn't even hitting temperature. I would think it was like 15 degrees colder than, I think I had a 50 degrees, and I think it was only heating up until like 38 degrees. So I had to slow the flow rate down, and then when you slow the flow rate down, obviously it takes longer to go through, but then eventually it was getting, when it was getting to the taps, it was like trickling on the person's head. So I had to actually use the electric element to actually use that as the backup for gas geyser, and that's only happened once. So guys, if you're thinking of going gas, please don't let this put you off. I think it's better than an ESCOM. You have hot water all the time, and if ESCOM goes off or city power goes off, you will have hot water. So Tuesday I used a bit of grid, and I've been using a bit of grid throughout the week. As I said, just trying to make the gas bottle last a little bit longer. It's a 48 kg gas bottle, as we are now into our 8th week. So I want to push it out to 10, 12 weeks in the winter now. Let's see for the month, how much money have I saved. We've produced 265 kilowatt hours, and we've saved 1,061 Rand and 40 cents from hot water, which is, remember, hot water is one of the biggest electricity drawers in your household if you have a standard electric geyser. So when you look at your electric bill, at least 40% of your bill is your geyser. So, you know, when I see this number over here, I obviously get happy, because that's money in my pocket. That's money for something else. You know, it's less money that I have to pay to ESCOM or City Power. So let's get into the year. Let's see, after 11 months, how have I done? By the way, I spent about 20,000 Rand on the system. 20,000 Rand, panels, Elon Smart Thermostat, with the electrician, consumable, like obviously the stuff, the brackets and so forth. Let's see where we're at for the year. 9,324 cents, producing 2,331.1 kilowatt hours. So I've almost paid half of my system off in 11 months. So basically in 2 years time, this system will be paid off. Yes, I did use a bit of grid, 2,334 Rand and 75 cents of grid I used, but I mean, that is nothing. That's 23% of what I've basically saved. So I mean, for hot water, for a family of, I got my father-in-law, my wife, and my 2 kids, for a family of 5, I mean, like, this is absolute phenomenal results. I couldn't be happier. If I'm going to give this thing 1 flaw, it's just that the temperature reading is it's not accurate. The minute somebody has a bath or a shower, I don't know, is it because my geyser is in a vertical, right? Yeah. And Elon Smart Thermostat is at the bottom, as you can see from the intro, and the cold water is running in from the bottom. I don't know if that is a major reason why, obviously when somebody showers, cold water comes in, fills from the bottom, and that's where the thermostat is, that it reads the bottom of the tank and not the whole tank. Like for example, I close my gas valve, and then obviously I let the water run through the gas geyser, then I get an accurate reading as to what the temperature is at, and then if I do need to obviously top up the temperature, then I open up the valve and then restart the gas geyser, and then the water will start heating up. But yeah, that is the only problem I've really had. But if you have found this video informative, please do like, subscribe, comment, and if you have any questions regarding the Elon Smart Thermostat, please do drop me a comment. Please share this video with anybody that is thinking of putting a solar geyser. Is it worth it? Is it going to save them money? Maybe this can help someone that you know, or yourself. So yeah, thank you very much for watching the video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one.